From Pune, Brigadier Hemant Mahajan, from Delhi, Maruf Raza, former Foreign Secretary Kawal Sibal, D. Raja of the Communist Party of India. My first question is to M.K. Bhadrakumar, former diplomat. He's joining us from Thiruvananthapuram. Mr. Bhadrakumar, Nehru had said after the debacle of 1962 that we have been living in an unreal world of our own creation. My question to you, sir, is that by refusing to acknowledge the seriousness of the Chinese threat, as is evident in Ladakh today, are we repeating the same mistake?
Well, firstly, I think it's grossly exaggerated to compare what happened in '62 and what is apparently happened here. '62 was an entirely different subject in the sense that it is related to the border dispute, but it's against a different backdrop, and Pandit Nehru's statement has to be seen in perspective. Now, as far as what is happening here today, I am not speaking on behalf of the government. I am also having the same access to information that you would have in your studio. Now, from what I understand, that there are varying perceptions about the line of actual control, and because of these differing perceptions, there are different attitudes to it on both sides, and this has been going on for quite some time. And the incident which we came to know about from April 15 is one such incident.
No, sir, this...
I would imagine that the description of that incident...
Why are you trying to downplay
by the Prime
it,
Minister
as
a localized affair?
No, Mr. Bhadrakumar, it's not a localized affair with the greatest of respect. I'd like to get a second point of view, Kawal Sibal, in, because 16 days after China first pitched tents on our territory, not only have they refused to vacate, they've gotten more arms, they've gone and pitched more tents. We are describing it as acne. There is no sign of a let up, is there? I am only talking today, Mr. Sibal, of the manner in which we are describing it and how the Chinese would see our response. Let Mr. Bhadrakumar, Kawal Sibal, come back to you after that. Yes, Mr. Kawal Sibal.
Well, a few things that need to be said about what is happening. If it was a localized affair, then the meetings of the local commanders should have by now settled the matter. If the attitude of the Chinese was the same as ours, that we should not allow this matter to escalate and resolve it very quickly, and agree that there are different perceptions of the line of control and that this matter is negotiable, then we would have found a solution. The second thing is that we continue saying repeatedly that there are different perceptions of the line of control. The Chinese never say this.
Yeah.
And there is a huge gap in how the Chinese look at their claims on the border and how we look. We, in fact, implicitly justify what China is doing by describing their incursions as occurring because of different perceptions that both countries have of the line of the control. The Chinese are saying, no, we are on our side of the line of control. They're very firm on this. They are repeating this. They are not at all apologetic about it. The third thing is that we seem to be far more keen to resolve this issue than the Chinese are. Fourthly, that we have raised the issue ourselves to the political level because our foreign minister has made repeated statements on the matter. Even the Prime Minister has made a statement on the matter. From the Chinese side, only the Chinese spokesman is saying something. So you look at the difference in which, at different levels at which the two sides are dealing with this issue. And that puts us at a huge disadvantage because our appeals, our sensible comments, our conciliatory gestures at the highest political level are not drawing any conciliatory response from the Chinese side. They simply, in fact, quote back what we are saying.
Yeah, exactly.
To our disadvantage by saying, yes, we should talk and we should settle the matter, which means we should settle it in accordance with China's view on where the line of actual control is.
So we give up 19
by
kilometers.
Talking so much about conciliation, resolving it, localized affair, we are in fact hampering our own potential action on the ground because we can actually go beyond where they are, go behind the lines and establish ourselves and then have a bargaining counter. This way we don't even have any bargaining counter.
In this case, therefore, among those who say don't escalate the situation is D. Raja of the Communist Party of India. Mr. D. Raja, even if one were to accept your contention that let us not escalate the situation, may I ask you and those who are in your group who think that Kanwal Sibal and Maruf Raza are too hardline, may I ask you what solution is existing right now? Flag meetings have failed. Chinese are not moving back. They are increasing their presence. May I ask you how one is meant to resolve the situation?
No, firstly, I make it clear, no question of compromising on the territorial integrity of our
But
country.
it is already compromised.
Having said that, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Having said that, I must underline the fact that there can be intrusions or there can be incursions. Whatever may be, no incident should be ignored. It should be taken up seriously. But it should not be blown out of proportion.
So how is it being blown out of proportion? I have been hearing this. No, Mr. Raja. Mr. Raja, I have been hearing this now for a week. No, I have been hearing this for a week. There is a standard argument that people are putting. No, the pro-China lobby in India says, don't blow it out of proportion. I'm asking you, Mr. Raja. No, Mr. Raja, I'm asking you, today if Indian troops, if the Indian army, if the Indian army, Mr. Raja, Mr. Raja, 1 minute,
such a serious issue. Hello?
Can I just ask you, if the Indian army were to go to 19 kilometers on the other side, pitch tents, bring in dogs, increase army presence and carry out intrusions, you think the Chinese would be sitting quiet?
I am asking you, so far, Government of India, our government has not made any comprehensive statement on this. If that is such a serious issue,
so that is exactly the point.
External Affairs Minister should take up the matter with the government of China.
Our External Affairs Minister
should take up the issue with the government
our External Affairs Minister thinks
they are not.
No, our External Affairs Minister thinks it's like a freckle or acne. He says apply an ointment, it will be gone. He's downplayed it completely. This is soft diplomacy, sir.
No, I think government knows better than what I know or you know.
I'm not sure.
Let us trust our government at least on this issue.
Well, you have a lot of trust on the government on this one. You don't trust the government on anything else.
Territory.
You don't trust the government on anything. You only want to trust the government on China. I wonder why. Maruf Raza.
No.
Mr. D. Raja.
That point.
No, let's get the 4 points.
It is not like that.
Sir, today we are on a stalemate.
No, don't simplify that issue.
Sir, today we are on a stalemate.
Between two sovereign nations.
Sir, today we are on a stalemate.
If that is such a serious issue, Government of India should take up with the
it's not a serious issue. It's not a serious issue. It's not a serious issue. Which self-respecting country allows another neighboring country to nibble away into its area and then have a group of people who say it's not a big deal? It's a very big deal. Maruf Raza, please. I'll come back to you, sir.
Arnab, let me start from the top. It is an established fact, and I mean not from now, from past several decades. And The Economist in a recent cover story has alluded to that again and again, that at our top level of political leadership, we have complete strategic misunderstanding of India's priorities. We don't have more than 2.5 politicians who can actually articulate how to use India's hard military power. So there is always the need to go back, especially with this government, to the Nehruvian dictum that don't upset the Chinese. And they are bogged down with that baggage, which has come down for decades. The second aspect is that sovereign issues are always between two countries when it comes to territorial integrity. We have shown in the past, when they have allowed military commanders to be assertive, Sumdang-Chu being a case in point, that we can respond militarily without firing a shot to convey a message to China. Now, those that think that China has got military superiority over us on the border, please understand that China is also rubbing its wrong way with countries like Vietnam, countries like Japan, and if it is wanting to also show aggressiveness against India, it is certainly, despite whatever its white paper asking it to be prepared for, doesn't have the capacity to take on three-front confrontations. We have to build that into our calculation. The third point I want to bring out, in the Daulat Beg Oldie sector, there is a complete disconnect in the command. There is half the territory which is to be looked after by ITBP, half by the army. So we have not clarified, and this is a very sensitive area because the Chinese are looking to establish a presence there, to thereafter take control of the waterways and the glacial region there so that China can get access to the waters, which China has been doing even with Pakistan in the Shaksgam Valley when some of the glaciers have been diverted and they've not listened to Pakistan's view after that. And the fourth point I want to bring out is that there are ways that we can actually, if people keep harping it's a localized matter, then why don't we let local commanders take the initiative and show
Is
some
it a
presence on
localized
ground?
matter?
Please remember, in 15 days, yes, Arnab, in 15 days, this army liberated Bangladesh. In 15 days, we can't throw 30 Chinese out. It's such a shame because our political leadership lacks the gumption to take a realistic view about what is our
What is
capacity
the dilemma
to do on
of the
border.
government?
I mean, just because Chinese are intruding.
One second. Let's get
dilemma
everyone
of the
in.
government is they have no strategic understanding.
The question is this, that there is a 1993 peace pact. There is a 1996 peace pact. And despite that, India is sitting pretty and expecting a diplomatic breakthrough 16 days after the Chinese have blatantly set up camp on our land. My question to you, Brigadier Hemant Mahajan, then I'm opening this up. What is holding the government of India back from taking at least a tough diplomatic position? I mean, the diplomatic position of the government of India seems extremely, candy floss response.
May I just add?
I want to get
you have to back diplomacy with military might. You are dissociating the
effective
two.
diplomacy.
You can't do diplomacy without flexing military muscle.
Well, Brigadier Mahajan.
Okay. Arnab, I want to first say that the situation now reminds me exactly of what was happening before the 1962 war. Our Prime Minister at that point of time had said that India does not require army. The police are good enough to take care of her security. There will be no war with China, and in the most unlikely event of there being one, I am capable of handling it at a diplomatic level. Today's Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, is saying something similar. In those days, the Chinese border was being handled by the foreign ministry. Today also, all the statements on the today's crisis are all coming from the foreign ministry. It should have been the Ministry of Defense which should have been looking after it. The next thing is, the police were manning the borders at that point of time, and even here in this area in which Chinese have done lot of incursions, how come we have handed over this area to ITBP, which does not even come under the operational command of Indian Army? There seems to be a perception in the government and among some of the strategic community that the Indian Army is only meant for Republic Day parade on 26 January and on 15th of August, where we say something about what Indian Army can do, and thereafter it does nothing. Now we have seen for last 16 days, you have very rightly brought out, our response has been totally cowardly. The Chinese have hit us at the right time when they know that our political leadership is completely paralyzed. They know that bureaucracy is totally become non-functional. They know that today in our country we have a set of experts who are Chinese supporter. In fact, there have been a lot of articles which have been appearing which try to say that Indian Army is not capable of a military option. That is 100% wrong. I am aware that there are problems in terms of infrastructure, in terms of roads, railways, etc.
I want to ask you one second. The view here is that Mr. Bhadra Kumar, we've got it all wrong. That we at least should exert ourselves and establish our anger with the Chinese a little bit more effectively. My question to you, sir, Mr. Bhadra Kumar, is this, that I know that you are among those who are for eternal peace with China, so are we. The question is this, that should the foreign minister not be more assertive?